When I woke up on my 40th birthday, I didn't expect it to be the day everything would fall apart. Or maybe, looking back now, it was the day everything finally came together. I remember lying in bed that morning, staring at the ceiling, waiting. Waiting for my husband David to remember, waiting for my phone to buzz with messages from my kids, waiting to feel special just this once. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I got up and walked to the kitchen. No balloons, no cards, no surprise breakfast. Just the same old coffee maker sitting on the counter, waiting for me to press the button like every other day. David was already gone. He left early for work, he said. But it was Saturday. Who works on Saturday morning when it's their wife's birthday? I made my coffee and sat at the kitchen table. The same table where we'd celebrated so many birthdays. The kids' birthdays. David's birthday. His mother's birthday. Everyone's birthday but mine. My phone finally buzzed. My heart jumped. Maybe it was David. Maybe he remembered after all. It was a text from my sister Michelle. Hey, can you watch Tyler and Emma this weekend? Brad and I want to go to the lake house. You're not doing anything special, right? I stared at the message for a long time. Not doing anything special on my birthday. The birthday she forgot, I didn't answer. I just sat there, holding my cold coffee, feeling something inside me crack. 20 years of being invisible. Let me tell you how I got here. How a woman who once had dreams and plans became someone whose own family forgets her birthday. 20 years ago, I was Sarah Mitchell, a young woman with a college degree in graphic design and a job at a small advertising agency. I had friends. I had hobbies. I had plans to travel to Paris and learn French cooking. Then I met David at a company party. He was handsome, charming, and he made me laugh. We dated for 2 years. He proposed on a beach at sunset. It was perfect. We got married and I was so happy. I thought this was the beginning of my fairy tale. 2 years later, our daughter Emma was born. She was beautiful, perfect, and I was terrified. I had no idea what I was doing. David's mother, Patricia, moved in for a few weeks to help. Those few weeks turned into 3 months. And during those 3 months, Patricia taught me one very important lesson. I wasn't good enough. That's not how you fold a diaper. Sarah, you're holding her wrong. She's crying because you're making her anxious. When David was a baby, I never had these problems. Every day, every hour, Patricia found something I was doing wrong. And David said nothing. He just nodded along, agreeing with his mother, making me feel smaller and smaller. When Patricia finally left, I thought I'd feel relief. Instead, I felt like a failure, my own baby, and I didn't even know how to take care of her properly. 3 years later, our son Jake was born. This time, I didn't ask for help. I did everything myself. I proved I could be a good mother. But somewhere in those years of diapers and sleepless nights and endless laundry, I lost Sarah. I became mom. Just mom. David started working longer hours. He was building his career, he said. Someone had to provide for the family. And I agreed. Of course, someone had to earn money. So I stayed home. I took care of the kids. I cooked the meals. I cleaned the house. I did the laundry. I helped with homework. I drove to soccer practice and piano lessons and birthday parties. And I disappeared. Looking back now, I can see the pattern clearly. But when you're living it, when you're inside it, you don't see it. You just keep going, day after day, thinking this is normal. This is what families do. This is what love looks like. Every year on David's birthday, I planned something special. I baked his favorite cake from scratch. I bought him thoughtful gifts. I made sure the kids made him cards. I organized dinner at his favorite restaurant, and every year David would smile and say thank you. But it felt automatic, like he expected it, like it was just another task I completed on his behalf. My birthday would come, and he'd remember at the last minute. He'd stop at the grocery store on the way home and grab a cake from the bakery section. He'd hand me a card he picked up from the gas station. Once he forgot to sign it. "I've been so busy at work," he'd say. "You know how it is," and I did know. I knew he was busy. I knew he was stressed. I knew he was tired. So I smiled and said it was fine. It didn't matter. I didn't need a big celebration, but it did matter. It mattered so much. The kids learned from him. Emma's birthday was a big event. We invited all her friends. We had themed parties with decorations and games and goodie bags. We made her feel like a princess. Jake's birthday was the same. Whatever he wanted, we made it happen. Action figures, video games, trips to the arcade. We celebrated him. But when my birthday came around, the kids barely looked up from their phones. "Happy birthday." "Mom," Emma would say, not even making eye contact. "Yeah, happy birthday," Jake would echo, already walking away. No cards, no gifts, no effort, and I told myself it was okay. They were teenagers. Teenagers are self-absorbed. They don't think about these things. But David wasn't a teenager. My sister wasn't a teenager. My parents, my friends, everyone in my life had somehow learned that Sarah's birthday wasn't important. The Lake House incident. Let me tell you about the Lake House. This was 2 years before my 40th birthday. This was when I first started to see the truth. My sister Michelle and her husband Brad bought a lake house. It was beautiful. 3 bedrooms, a huge deck, a dock with a boat. They were so proud of it. "We're going to have so many family gatherings here," Michelle said. "All of us together. It's going to be amazing." And they did have gatherings. Every summer weekend, there was a party at the lake house. Barbecues and swimming and bonfires. But here's the thing. I was never invited as a guest. I was invited as the help. "Sarah, can you bring potato salad?" "Sarah, can you watch the kids while we take the boat out?" "Sarah, can you clean up after dinner? You're so good at organizing." Every single time, I was the one cooking, cleaning, watching children, while everyone else had fun. One Saturday, Michelle called me. "Hey, we're having a big party this weekend. Can you come early and help me set up? Like maybe Friday afternoon?" I looked at my calendar. Friday was my wedding anniversary. David and I hadn't celebrated in 3 years, but I thought maybe this year we could do something. Just the 2 of us. "Actually, Friday is my anniversary," I said. "David and I were thinking about—" "Oh, come on," Michelle interrupted. "You guys can celebrate any day. This party is important. I really need your help. I want you to understand something." In that moment, I had a choice. I could have said no. I could have stood up for myself. I could have said, "My anniversary is important to me," but I didn't. I said yes, because that's what I always did. I drove to the lake house Friday afternoon. I spent 6 hours helping Michelle decorate, prep food, and organize. David didn't call. He didn't text. When I finally got home at midnight, he was asleep. The next morning, he didn't even mention our anniversary. The party at the lake house was huge. 30 people, music, dancing, drinking. Everyone was having a great time. I spent the entire day in the kitchen, cooking burgers and hot dogs, making more potato salad when we ran out, washing dishes, wiping down counters. At one point, I walked outside. Everyone was on the deck, laughing. David was there, drinking beer with Brad, looking more relaxed than I'd seen him in months. Emma and Jake were on the boat with their cousins. Michelle was taking selfies with her friends. I stood there, holding a trash bag, watching my family have fun without me, and nobody even noticed I wasn't part of it. That night driving home, I cried. David asked what was wrong. "Nothing," I said. "I'm just tired." "You should take it easy next time," he said. "You work too hard at these things." I almost laughed. I worked too hard? Like I was choosing to spend my anniversary weekend cooking for 30 people? But I didn't say anything. I just drove home in silence. The breaking point. So now we're back to my 40th birthday. The morning I woke up to nothing. I sat at that kitchen table for 2 hours. Just sitting, thinking, remembering. My phone kept buzzing. Not with birthday wishes, with requests. Michelle, "Can you watch the kids?" Emma, "Mom, can you do my laundry?" "I have nothing to wear." Jake, what's for dinner? Can we have pizza? David's mother, Patricia. David forgot to pick up my prescription. Can you get it for me? Not one of them remembered. I turned off my phone. I went upstairs and looked at myself in the mirror. Really looked. When was the last time I had done that? I saw a woman I barely recognized. Tired eyes. Gray hair I hadn't bothered to color in months. An old t-shirt with a stain on it. Sweatpants. When did I stop caring about myself? I opened my closet. In the very back, hidden behind all my practical clothes, was a red dress. I bought it 10 years ago for a party I never went to. It still had the tags on it. I pulled it out. I tried it on. It fit. It actually fit. And for the first time in years, I looked like Sarah. Not Mom. Not David's wife. Not Michelle's helpful sister, Sarah. I did my makeup. I styled my hair. I put on the red dress and a pair of heels I forgot I owned. And then I walked out the door. The coffee shop I drove downtown. I didn't have a plan. I just needed to be somewhere that wasn't home. I found a small coffee shop I'd never been to before. It was cute, with exposed brick walls and plants hanging from the ceiling. Jazz music played softly in the background. I ordered a latte and a slice of cake. Chocolate cake with raspberry frosting. Expensive, unnecessary. I didn't care. I sat by the window and watched people walk by. Couples holding hands, friends laughing, a man with a dog, an old woman feeding pigeons, everyone living their lives, everyone existing in the world. When was the last time I had just sat somewhere and watched the world? "Excuse me," a voice said. I looked up. A woman was standing by my table. She was about my age, with short gray hair and kind eyes. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said, "but I just had to tell you, you look absolutely beautiful. That dress is stunning." I felt my eyes water. This stranger, this woman I'd never met, saw me, actually saw me. "Thank you," I whispered. "Are you okay?" She asked, concern in her voice. "It's my birthday," I said. And then, for some reason, I told her everything. I told this complete stranger about David forgetting, about my kids not caring, about my sister asking me to babysit, about 20 years of being invisible. She listened to everything. She didn't interrupt. She didn't judge. She just listened. When I finished, she reached across the table and took my hand. "My name is Joan," she said. "And I want to tell you something. 10 years ago, I was you. I was the woman everyone forgot. The woman who gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left. What happened?" I asked. "I left," she said simply. "I left my husband, my ungrateful adult children, my entire life. And I built a new one. I can't do that," I said quickly. "I have responsibilities." "My kids need me," Joan smiled sadly. "Do they? Or have you just convinced yourself they do?" Joan's question haunted me for days. Do they need me? Or have I just convinced myself they do? I went home that night. David was there watching TV. "Where were you?" he asked, not even looking at me. "Out," I said. "Out where?" "I tried to call you. Your phone was off." I needed some time to myself. He finally looked at me. Really looked at me. "Why are you dressed up?" he asked. "Did you go somewhere?" "It's my birthday, David." The color drained from his face. "Oh my God," he said. "Sarah, I'm so sorry. Work has been crazy, and I just forgot," I finished for him. "I'll make it up to you," he said, standing up. "We can go to dinner tomorrow. Anywhere you want." "Tomorrow," I repeated. "Not today, tomorrow." "Well, it's already 9 o'clock. Everywhere is closed." I walked upstairs without another word. The next few days were strange. I moved through the house like a ghost. I did my usual tasks, but something was different. I was different. I watched my family, really watched them. Emma came home from school and dropped her backpack on the floor. "Mom, I'm hungry. What's for snack?" She was 17 years old enough to make her own snack. But she stood there, waiting for me to do it. I didn't move. "There's fruit in the fridge and crackers in the pantry." She looked at me like I'd spoken a foreign language. "But can you make me something?" "No," I said. "I'm busy." "Busy with what?" she asked, looking around like she was trying to find evidence of my busyness. With myself, I said. She huffed and walked away, pulling out her phone to text her friends about her weird mom. Jake came home an hour later. He walked right past me without saying hello and went straight to his room. I followed him upstairs and knocked on his door. "Yeah?" he called out. I opened the door. He was lying on his bed, gaming headset on, shouting at his online friends. "Jake, I'd like to talk to you." "In a minute?" "Mom, I'm in the middle of a game. Now, please." He sighed dramatically and pulled off his headset. "What? When was my birthday?" He blinked. I don't know. A couple months ago? It was last Saturday." His face went red. "Oh, sorry, I forgot." "Why did you forget?" "I don't know. I just did. Can I get back to my game now?" "Jake, when's your birthday?" "June 14th. Why? And have I ever forgotten it?" "No. Have I ever missed making you a cake? Giving you presents? Making your day special?" "No, but that's different. You're my mom. That's your job. That's your job." Those 3 words hit me like a punch to the stomach. "My job," I repeated quietly. "Yeah, isn't it? You're supposed to remember this stuff." I looked at my 15-year-old son, my baby boy, the child I'd rocked to sleep every night for 3 years, the kid I'd taught to ride a bike, to tie his shoes, to be kind. And somehow, I taught him that my love was a job, an obligation, something he was entitled to without ever giving anything back. "Get back to your game," I said. I closed his door and went to my bedroom. I sat on the bed and I cried. Not pretty crying. Ugly, gasping, can't catch my breath crying. David found me an hour later. "Sarah? What's wrong?" "Everything," I said. "Everything is wrong." The list that night, I couldn't sleep. David was snoring next to me, oblivious as always. I got up and went downstairs. I made tea and sat at the kitchen table with a notebook. I started writing. I wrote down every birthday David had forgotten, every anniversary he'd missed, every time I'd asked for help and been told he was too busy. I wrote down every time Emma had asked me to do something she could do herself. Every time Jake had walked past me like I was furniture. I wrote down every family gathering where I'd been the cook, the cleaner, the babysitter, never the guest. I wrote down every time someone had called me only when they needed something. I wrote for 3 hours. The list filled 15 pages. 15 pages of being taken for granted, of being invisible, of being used. When I finished, I looked at what I'd written. This was my life. This was 20 years of putting everyone else first. And what did I have to show for it? A husband who forgot my birthday, kids who thought I was a maid, a family who only called when they wanted something. Joan's words came back to me. Do they need you? Or have you just convinced yourself they do? I looked at my list, really looked at it. If I disappeared tomorrow, what would happen? David would have to do his own laundry. He'd have to remember his own mother's prescriptions. He'd have to cook his own meals. Emma would have to clean her own room. She'd have to do her own laundry. She'd have to make her own snacks. Jake would have to keep track of his own schedule. He'd have to clean up after himself. He'd have to take responsibility. They would survive. They would figure it out. They didn't need me. They were just used to me doing everything, and I had let them. I had trained them to treat me this way. That realization hurt more than anything else. This was my fault. Not completely, but partially. I had taught them that my needs didn't matter, that my time wasn't valuable, that they could take and take and take without ever giving back. I had to change this. But how? The experiment, I decided to run an experiment. For 1 week, I would only do things for myself. I would not cook meals. I would not do laundry. I would not clean up after anyone. I would not run errands for anyone. I would still take care of my basic responsibilities, but nothing extra. Nothing that my family could do for themselves. Monday morning, I got up early. I made myself a nice breakfast. Eggs, toast, fresh fruit, coffee. I sat at the table and ate slowly, enjoying every bite. David came downstairs. "Is there more coffee?" he asked. "In the pot," I said. He looked at me, waiting for me to get up and pour it for him. I didn't move. He sighed and poured his own coffee. "Are you making breakfast?" he asked. "I already ate." "What am I supposed to eat?" "There are eggs in the fridge. Bread in the pantry. You know how to cook." "I don't have time to cook. I have to get to work." "Then I guess you'll have to grab something on the way." He stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "What's going on with you?" "Nothing's going on with me. I'm just not making breakfast for everyone anymore." "Since when?" "Since now." He grabbed his keys and left without another word. Emma came down next. "Mom, can you iron my shirt?" "I have a presentation today." "I'm not ironing today," I said. "What do you mean you're not ironing today?" "I need this shirt. You have 20 other shirts in your closet." "Wear one of those." "But I want this one." "Then iron it yourself. The iron is in the laundry room." "I don't know how to iron." "Then today is a great day to learn. There are videos on YouTube." She stood there, mouth open, staring at me. "Mom, are you feeling okay?" "I'm feeling fine." "Better than fine, actually." She didn't iron the shirt. She wore a wrinkled shirt to school and complained about it all day via text messages I didn't answer. Jake was the easiest. He barely noticed. He grabbed a Pop-Tart and left for school without saying goodbye. That day, I didn't do anyone's laundry. I didn't pick up the living room. I didn't run to the store to grab ingredients for dinner. Instead, I went for a walk, a long walk in the park near our house. I hadn't been there in years. It was beautiful. There was a pond with ducks, trees with leaves turning gold and red, benches where old couples sat holding hands. I sat on a bench and just breathed. When was the last time I'd just breathed? Just existed without a to-do list running through my head? I stayed there for 2 hours, just sitting, just being. When I got home, David was already there. "Where were you?" he asked. "I've been calling you." "I went for a walk." "For 2 hours?" "Yes. What about dinner?" "What about it?" "What are we eating?" "I don't know." "What are you making?" "Me? I just got home from work." "So did I said. "I worked today, too." I walked, I thought. I existed as a human being instead of a servant. That's work. "Sarah, this isn't funny." "I'm not joking." He ordered pizza. Emma complained it wasn't healthy. Jake didn't care. I ate my pizza in silence, watching my family slowly realize that something had changed. The resistance. By Wednesday, my family was in full rebellion mode. "Mom, I have no clean clothes," Emma shouted from upstairs. "Then do your laundry," I shouted back. "I don't know how." "Figure it out." She came downstairs 20 minutes later, arms full of dirty clothes, looking helpless. "Can you at least show me?" she asked, and here's where I had to be strong. Every part of me wanted to just do it for her. It would be easier, faster, less drama, but I didn't. I walked her to the laundry room and showed her how to sort clothes, how to use the machine, how much detergent to add. "You have to wait an hour. Then move them to the dryer," I said. "An hour? What am I supposed to do for an hour?" "Whatever you want. It's your time." She looked at me like I was insane. Later that day, she texted me. "I forgot about my laundry, and now it's all wrinkled and smells weird." I didn't respond. David was getting frustrated too. "Sarah, we need to talk," he said. Wednesday night. "Okay. What's going on with you? You're acting different." "I'm not acting different. I'm acting like myself for the first time in 20 years. What does that even mean? It means I'm not everyone's maid anymore." "No one said you were a maid. No one had to say it. It's what I became. That's not fair. You're my wife, my partner. Am I? When was the last time we did something together? Just the two of us? When was the last time you asked me about my day? When was the last time you noticed me at all?" He was quiet. "You forgot my birthday, David. You forgot our anniversary. You forgot I exist except when you need something. That's not true, isn't it? Tell me one thing about me. One thing I care about. One hobby I have. One dream I mentioned." He opened his mouth, then closed it. He couldn't think of anything. "That's what I thought. I said. I went to bed early that night. David slept on the couch. The Sister Thursday morning, Michelle called. Hey, can you pick up Tyler from school today? I have a hair appointment. No, I said. What? No, I can't pick up Tyler. Why not? What else are you doing? That doesn't matter. I'm not available to pick up Tyler. Sarah, come on. It's just one time. Michelle, I need to ask you something. When's my birthday? What? Why are you asking me that? Just answer the question. October? No, wait. September? It was last Saturday. Silence. And you didn't remember, I said. I've been busy. You know how hectic things are with the kids and Brad's job, and Michelle, I was there when Tyler was born. I was there when Emma was born. I stayed at the hospital for 18 hours. I brought you food. I helped you when you got home. I babysat every Friday night for 3 months so you and Brad could have date nights. I know and I appreciate. When Emma was born, where were you? More silence. You didn't even text me, I said. You found out I had a baby and you sent me a card a week later. Sarah, that's not... Last Christmas, who cooked the entire meal while you sat on the couch? You offered to cook because no one else was going to do it. Because if I didn't, there wouldn't be a Christmas dinner. What do you want from me, Sarah? I want you to care about me as much as I've cared about you. I want you to remember my birthday. I want you to ask how I'm doing. I want to be your sister, not your babysitter. Fine, she said, her voice cold. I'll remember that next time you need something from me. What have I ever needed from you? I asked quietly. She hung up. I sat there, holding the phone, feeling sad, but also free. Lighter. The realization. By Friday, my experiment was revealing more than I expected. The house was a mess. Dishes piled in the sink. Clothes everywhere. Trash overflowing. But I didn't touch it. Emma and Jake were fighting about whose turn it was to clean. David was frustrated because he couldn't find a clean shirt. Everyone was angry at me. Friday night. David sat me down. Sarah, this has to stop. The house is a disaster. No one has clean clothes. We've eaten takeout every night. This isn't sustainable. You're right, I said. It's not. So you'll go back to normal? No, you'll start helping. I do help. Name one thing you did this week to take care of this house. I went to work. I earned money to pay for this house. And I took care of everything else for 20 years. By myself. You're a stay-at-home mom. That's your job. The kids are 15 and 17. They don't need a stay-at-home mom anymore. They need parents. Both parents. Not just a mother who does everything while the father lives like a guest in his own house. That's not fair, isn't it? David, when was the last time you cleaned a toilet? Vacuumed a floor? Did a load of laundry? Cooked a meal from scratch? I don't have time for... Neither do I. But I do it anyway, every single day. And you know what? I'm done. What does that mean? It means things are going to change. Starting now. The family meeting Saturday morning. I called a family meeting. Emma, Jake, and David sat at the kitchen table, looking at me like I was about to announce the apocalypse. I want to talk to you about something, I said. I want to talk about respect. Here we go, Emma muttered. Emma, do you respect me? She looked uncomfortable. Of course I do. Do you? Because respect isn't just a word. It's actions. And your actions tell me you don't. That's not true. You dropped your backpack on the floor every day this week and walked away, leaving it for me to move. That's just... You left your dishes in the sink, your clothes on the floor, your garbage on the counter. You expected me to clean up after you like you're a child, not a 17-year-old woman. Mom, I didn't mean... And when I asked you to do your own laundry, you acted like I was punishing you, like it was some horrible burden. Even though you've watched me do laundry for your entire life and never once offered to help. She was quiet now. I turned to Jake. Jake, when's my birthday? I already told you I forgot. Why did you forget? I don't know. I just did. You didn't forget because you have a bad memory. You have a great memory. You remember every detail of every video game you play, every sports stat, every YouTube video. That's different. Why is it different? Because that stuff matters to me. The words hung in the air, heavy, true. Right, I said quietly. I don't matter to you. That's not what I meant, but it's what you said. And honestly, your actions have been saying it for years. I'm just finally listening. I turned to David. And you, my husband, the man who promised to love me and cherish me and build a life with me. Sarah, you forgot my 40th birthday, not my 23rd or my 35th. My 40th. That's a big birthday, a milestone, and you forgot it completely. I said I was sorry. Sorry isn't enough anymore. Sorry is just a word you say to make yourself feel better. I need to see change. What do you want from me? I want you to see me, really see me. Not just as your wife or the kid's mom or the person who does all the things you don't want to do. I want you to see Sarah, the woman you married, the person I am underneath all the roles I've been playing. I do see you. No, you don't. You haven't seen me in years. The ultimatum. I took a deep breath. This was it. The moment that would change everything. I need to tell you something, I said. All of you. I've made a decision. They looked worried now. Good. I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm not going to be invisible in my own home. I'm not going to be taken for granted. I'm not going to do everything while you do nothing. Mom, we don't do nothing, Emma said. What did you do yesterday to help this household? She thought about it. I don't know, exactly. None of you know, because you don't think about it. You don't have to think about it. I think about it for you. So what are you saying? David asked. What do you want? I want a partnership. I want a family where everyone contributes, where everyone carries their weight, where everyone cares about each other, not just themselves. We do care about you, Jake said quietly. Then show me. Don't tell me. Show me. How? Emma asked. I pulled out a piece of paper. I'd spent the morning making a chart. This is a chore chart, I said. Everyone has assigned tasks. Emma, you're responsible for your own laundry and cleaning your room. You'll also help with dinner 3 nights a week. 3 nights? Yes, I'll teach you to cook. It's a life skill you need. Jake, you're responsible for your own laundry, cleaning your room, taking out trash, and vacuuming common areas once a week. That's not fair. I have homework and sports. So do I. I mean, I don't have homework and sports, but I have a life. Or I'm trying to have one. You can manage your time better. I turned to David. You're responsible for your own laundry, cleaning the bathrooms, doing dishes after dinner, and cooking 2 nights a week. Sarah, I work full-time. So do I. My work just doesn't come with a paycheck. But that's about to change. What does that mean? It means I'm going back to work. The room went silent. Going back, I had actually been thinking about this for a while. Before the birthday incident even. I was a graphic designer before I became a mom. I was good at it. I loved it. For 20 years, I told myself I'd go back eventually. When the kids were older, when they didn't need me as much. But there was always a reason to wait. They're too young. They need me home after school. I need to be available for emergencies. The truth was, I was scared. Scared I'd lost my skills. Scared the industry had changed too much. Scared I couldn't do it anymore. But I was more scared of spending another 20 years being invisible. Monday morning, I updated my portfolio. I was shocked at how much work I